Hey everyone, thanks for coming back. I'm Leanna. I'm here to talk to you about loss of a loved one, suicide, or if you've had a suicide attempt yourself. Today, I want to talk about the holidays because I know the holidays are really hard for a lot of people, especially those of us who are grieving. It's 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 all hyped up in the media and the stores, and everyone is, really picturing this Norman Rockwell kind of scene where everybody sits down at the dinner table, we all love each other, and everybody gets the right present, and food's wonderful, mom and dad love each other, you get the point. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. And for those of us who suffer, it's I would say it's the hardest time of the year. Absolutely. Just commercially, it's being thrown in your face, and privately, you already have your own issues. So there's a lot of real place to escape from that. Drinking, drugs, and sleeping, I guess. I chose sleeping. um, so Christmas was never a really good time in my house growing up. For some reason, even before I knew my mother was alcoholic, for some reason I was always sick on Christmas morning. Usually by about 2 o'clock I was better, but I couldn't go down and open my presents. I was usually vomiting up until about noon. We later found out that's because of poor use with kitchen utensils from my mother. She would chop up chicken on the breadboard and then put everything else on it. So later on, when my mom became an alcoholic, Christmas was actually still really good. We had a lot of great memories, with our stockings and the orange in it, getting the presents that we wanted. My brother and I always finding out what the presents were before we got them. Having family over, my mom and my nan cooking dinner in the kitchen, and everybody's kind of yelling and screaming at each other and calling each other names, but there's not a lot of seriousness in it. Once my brother and I had children, became a little more important to go over to my mom's. My brother and I really liked the traditions that we had. While we didn't really appreciate them growing up, we were parents. We wanted to provide that same sort of Norman Rockwell image for our kids at Christmas time. And I don't think we did a poor job, but it is a lot of pressure. And when you're already under mental strain anyways, it's a great pressure. So for me personally, my whole suicide nightmare started 19 years ago on December 19th, right up to the 27th of January. So that whole period for me is a really, really hard time. My grandmother went missing the night of the 19th or the day of the 19th. Nobody could find her. It was a fairly warm day, kind of like this year. They finally found her over at the local mall. The police brought her back and found out she had Alzheimer's. Nobody was looking after her. And I remember my brother phoned and he said, Nan's missing. And I said, oh no. And we talked a little bit more, and he called me. He said, Lee, I don't know what to do. Like, yeah, you got to do something. And I said, I can't do anything. I'm getting induced tomorrow with my baby. Like, I can't go out running around town. I have to be up at 7 o'clock to go have a baby tomorrow. Anyways, my husband jumped in. They found her. Things were said. That was great and everything. My father and his wife, more so his wife, had phoned me probably about 2 weeks before Christmas and asked me if it was okay to invite my brother to Christmas. And I said, it's your house, invite him if you want to. She said, well, I know you guys aren't getting along. I said, we're getting along great. We've been getting along great for a long time. I've been talking to him. I think at the time it was on Yahoo or MySpace or something like that. I said, there's no problem between the two of us. He, And she said, okay, well, I just wanted to make sure or whatever. Just before Christmas, she phoned me back and she said, yeah, we've decided not to invite him. And I said, oh, um, any particular reason why? And she said, well, your Uncle Glenn is coming and, he's bringing his friend. And we never know what kind of an impression Brett's going to make or how he's going to behave. And we just don't want to deal with it. And I thought, well, his Uncle Glenn, he's family. I'm sure he's seen it before. We've been out at the cottage for weeks and weeks together. It's not a surprise about Brett's behavior sometimes. Regardless. My mother and I were sort of in a bit of a bitter war because somebody needed to claim guardianship for my grandmother. And I was hell-bent that I wasn't going to let my mother do it and flush all the money and not look after her. So when she found out I filed papers against her, she was not happy. So I didn't see her at Christmas. Went to my dad's at Christmas, and it was all right. My brother did stop by a few days later with gifts for the girls and everything, and my son Joe, who was born by then. And at the hospital, I noticed there was a bit of a problem with him, a bit of an issue. He's more somber, quiet, wasn't really speaking very much, kind of staring off into space. And this visit was like that too. And I remember last time I saw him, he was going to get into his friend's car, and we had the side light on. They were in the driveway. And he said, bye, Lee. I love you. I said, I love you too. And that was that. So then, we won't get into the rest of it, but there is video on that if you want. Yeah, so then shortly afterwards, we found out that he had taken his life. Now, the hard part about Christmas is suicide is, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's kind of like a spider's web. Like, it starts here, but it infects parts of your social activities and your family relationships and your job and, your partner, your husband, your wife, how you deal with your kids. Nobody, if you haven't been through it, I don't think anybody really understands that. And it's physically draining and it's mentally draining. So I usually, my kids are grown up and, they have in-law families and whatnot. My son I'll see this week. The girls, I don't know. But, so it's basically just me at Christmas. And I don't mind anymore. I used to mind. And I'm probably lying when I say I don't mind. But I've gotten accustomed to it, I guess. I just pretend like it's any other day and I go about my business, and I try and keep myself busy with either excessive cleaning or whatever. This year it was painting and stuff like that. And a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't do this, it'll bring your mood down and everything like that. But I do like listening to sad songs, like really heart-wrenching sad songs. And some of them are about suicide, and you probably wouldn't even know that they are. And I might do a little podcast on that later on, because there's quite a few of them that people don't even realize that's what they're talking about. But so that's how I cope. I had the crisis number kind of on speed dial of my phone in case I started losing it. But for the most part, quite honestly, I just slept. I'm actually short on my sleeping pills for the next little while, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But on the 25th, that really didn't matter much. I didn't want to deal with the day. I wanted it to be gone and over with, and quiet my mind down. I think that was the best way to quiet my mind down, because there's no family anymore. There's no family. My mother's gone. My brother's gone. My nan is gone. My dad might as well be gone. We don't talk. Um, I don't talk to my oldest daughter. My youngest daughter has her family, and then there's my son who's busy and whatever, and that does weigh heavy on me sometimes. Um, I don't like watching any of the Christmas movies or whatever. I just, treat it like any other day. Try and find a YouTube video of Judge Judy, or I don't know, a series I can get deeply involved in, or um, you know, something that I could learn about and that sort of thing. And so far, it's working. I'm still here. I genuinely have a smile on my face, mostly because we got through it, and thank God we did. Um, so, anyways, that was just a little brief one. I have this is a little late actually coming out, and I do have another couple of topics to talk about. I was trying to, I don't know what is going on with my hair. Um, there's a couple of topics that I do want to talk to. One would be the cyberbullying, and the case where the girl ended up going to jail because she encouraged her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend to just go ahead and kill himself. So we're going to touch on stories like that. The next post that I'm going to make is we're going back to that old "it's the easy way, it's the coward's way out," and I'm going to give you some facts and I'm going to let you know why it's not. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice now. And then I'd like to just talk about how it all, like I said today, it's a far-reaching. I don't even know what you kind of call it, a disease or whatever, but it touches every aspect of your life. Uh, and I kind of want to get into that, and just so people know who are going through it, that, it's not just you. It seems to be we all go through this, and, see if maybe with some comments and stuff and other people chiming in, if we could figure out how to deal with things. So, anyways, holidays 2021 over. Thank the Lord. Made it through. If you're here listening to this, you made it through. Congratulations. If you're crying, have a good cry. You probably need it. That's it for me today. If you're interested in more of what I have to say, please subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the bell so you'll know when I'm making new videos. I try and do one at least once a week, but and that might be possible, or even more possible now that Christmas is over. So I'm going to try and stick to that, maybe do a little bit more. But thank you for joining me, and I will see you at the next topic. Thanks.